Oh boy, bet you could have guessed this was coming. 2025 has been an absolute gem of a year for Sonic, and the momentum clearly has zero plans on stopping. The release of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, major brand collaborations, talks of a new Sonic show, the global launch of Sonic Rumble, it's been good, real good. We haven't eaten this good in years, and with the Game Awards right around the corner, our next mainline Sonic title could be in our hands as soon as next year. Well, I doubt we're getting our next mainline game soon, as Sonic Cross Worlds is getting content into 2026 and potentially 2027. The hype is still real, man. But now that we have Sonic Rumble, we have two live service Sonic titles running simultaneously. This is huge for Sonic, as outside of mobile games, this is one of the first instances of an actual mainline release getting constant updates and added content that's promised from the start. Oh, you thought I was talking about Sonic Rumble? My fault, let me get back on track. While Sonic Rumble provides what Sonic Cross Worlds couldn't, a free-to-play experience that can be accessed by anyone with a smartphone or PC, that seems to be the only right thing they've done with this game so far. What we saw of the game upon its launch in specific regions compared to what we have on global launch is the exact same, and mind you, this game was delayed multiple times. Sonic Rumble needed more time to cook in the oven, because right now the outside is decent, but the inner workings need some work. Of course, Rumble does definitely do its fair share of things right, and recently the Rumble team has been very vocal about wanting to fix a multitude of these issues, but you clicked on this video to hear me whine and complain about Sonic Rumble, so let's get right into the meat and potatoes of this Yap Fest. But wait, I'm gonna be super quick before this video starts. All I have is one request. I'm trying to hit 10K before my birthday, which is December 5th, so if you're feeling generous, make sure to click that subscribe button. That's all, and time to get back to the video. Sonic Rumble is pretty much Fall Guys with a new coat of paint, and while I never got around to playing Fall Guys besides maybe a handful of times, I definitely enjoyed it for the bits and pieces I played. But something to note is that the gameplay loop gets extremely stale very quickly, and that's the exact issue I've run into with Rumble. Not very Sonic content creator of me, but at the point of scripting this, I only have 14.1 hours, and honestly, I feel like I've experienced the bulk of this game. Not to say that this game is lacking game modes and content, but rather lacking variation of content. Before I delve deeper into this, by lacking variation of content, I in no way mean lacking stage variety. To give credit where credit is due, this game's stage variety is off the charts. So far, we have Green Hill, Chemical Plant, Pinball Carnival, Shibuya Crossing from Sonic 3, the list goes on. But at its core, Sonic Rumble only has 5 game modes across all these stages. While each stage has its own paths and each stage is designed very differently, this is it. And half the time, the first 2 stages do not even matter. As long as you place high in the last level that is always ring battle, you could legit just putz around, and as long as you can guarantee you at least qualify last for the first 2 stages and go hard on the last stage, you can easily sweep a lobby if you're good enough. Truthfully, this is more of a non-issue, as in reality, even if you place relatively low in the first 2 stages, you still have the chance to come back if you really put your all into it. But at the same time, this punishes those who are actively seeking out high placements or are trying for A or S ranks. You can argue that it's the same with Fall Guys, as truthfully the only stage that matters when it comes to placements is the last, but at least with Fall Guys, it's rewarding as you need to survive as long as possible to win. So if you and the other person fighting for first are goated, then it's a true test of skill. Sonic Rumble, you're just picking up rings, man. There's no thrill to that. But hey, we're still in the quote-unquote infancy of this game's launch. Heavy emphasis on the quote-unquote infancy, in quotations if you couldn't tell what I was hinting at, which means we could definitely get more varied game modes and hopefully plenty more stages on top of the ones we have currently. Before I dive into the game's aggressive microtransaction pricing, which is not the biggest issue I have with this game, shockingly, I've seen a ton of reports of bugs, glitches, and other issues of that sort, and if I'm being honest, I haven't experienced a single detrimental glitch. Only one I've gotten launched me way ahead while colliding with a physics object, so I'm not mad. Don't get me wrong, this is absolutely an issue, but not an issue that I've consistently run into, so I can't necessarily comment on that. Now, of course, Sonic Rumble at its core is a free-to-play mobile experience that got ported over to PC. Developed by Rovio as one of the company's first big titles since its acquisition by Sega, this game of course has to reimburse its development costs in some way. Skins and battle passes are surely what comes to mind, right? While these are both implemented into Rumble, the execution is laughably bad. Skins have tiered rarities just like Fortnite used to. Usually the lower rarity skins are less detailed, while higher rarities almost always look great, unless you're me in 2018 and bought Omen on Fortnite. This skin sucks. But getting back on track, this game's skin selection is absolutely peak. The game pulls from a wide variety of older to newer Sonic titles for its characters or skins, and honestly, I can really get down with that, especially after seeing my GOAT Sonic in the Black Knight getting multiple reps for skins in this game. And hey, maybe the prices aren't too bad. that. There is not a single world where charging nearly $50 for a skin in a Fall Guys clone is warranted or should even be considered. I hate to bring up Fortnite again, and while I do have my choice words for what Fortnite has become, their skin pricing has gotten so low that skins that are only 800 V-Bucks, or roughly $7 US, look just as or even better than most skins that costed almost triple that not even 3 or 4 years ago. While it's hard to compare the two as Fortnite is a massive multimedia property now, and it's had a lifespan much longer than Rumble's, it still comes across as very anti-consumer to charge what is essentially the price of a full AAA game for a single skin. If you've seen my short on how bad the pricing is, I made a comparison that if you bought just 2 of these quote-unquote legendary skins, it would cost more than buying the digital deluxe to Sonic Racing Crossworlds, a $90 game. Let that sink in. Not to mention that at any given moment, there are at least 2 battle passes running, each costing $10, but none of them reimburse the cost of the pass, as you guessed it, each pass is only attainable by spending actual money. There is no red star ring to battle pass conversion like Fortnite, but you can absolutely spend your hard-earned red rings to skip tiers in these passes. Like, actually, get the f out of here. There's no benefit to buying these besides getting exclusive skins and the ability to level up faster with extra rings and tune-up wrenches. Every single thing in this game has a price tag attached to it, and if the countless amounts of score multiplier transactions didn't piss you off, they'll make sure to rub their greed all in your face. Thankfully, it seems like the Rumble team is at least listening to the community outcry this egregious pricing, as not only have they announced plans to make shop items easier to acquire, hopefully by being cheaper or being able to grind red rings easier, and they've also announced an event that will net you at least 300 red star rings, equivalent to almost $20. This is good to see, but this would have not been an issue if this was established day one. And I don't even want to get started on the skill system, man. For me personally, I like using skills that provide slight movement speed increases or better movement potential, but seeing that some of these give you a straight up advantage in certain modes is the epitome of greed. I could be wrong here, but this all just reads as extremely anti-consumer. And hell, I was looking forward to throwing fat stacks of cash at this game, but I would genuinely rather dump money like this into Fortnite, or hell, maybe even gamble so I get some satisfaction. Alright, bro. But I gotta tell you, man, if you can at least ignore all of that and want to actually play the game, good luck. This game's heads-up display and UI are a nightmare to navigate and even lay eyes upon. Upon loading in, you're hit with a million different pop-ups asking for cold, hard cash. Once you clear those, you're left with this: a cluttered, unorganized mess of a user interface that if you dare to challenge it, it's probably gonna whoop your ass. Every battle pass is on a different menu. There are 0 labels when you hover over tabs. The actual in-game HUD is overwhelming as all get out. Am I making myself clear? I got crazy ADHD, and this is one too many hoops to jump through just to play one match. Don't forget about the constant emoji spam, but honestly, that's low-key funny when you aren't trying to focus on the game itself. I know this part was relatively brief, but damn dude, this game's HUD is a mess. But it seems this has been addressed, as in the same post announcing 300 free red star rings, the Rumble team said they were quote-unquote revisiting the game interface and tutorial to add greater clarity on how the game functions, which is many of good updates that they've shared recently. But of course, we had to save the best update for last, right? Yeah. If you've been in the PC gaming space for a while, you've either heard of or currently might have a kernel-level anti-cheat on your system. But for those uninformed, a kernel-level anti-cheat is often regarded as the most intrusive form of anti-cheat. By having kernel access to your computer, too long didn't read, highest privilege on your PC, it will constantly run in the background at all times, scanning all processes, files, and more, allowing the anti-cheat to target the most complicated cheat programs. By using a kernel-level anti-cheat, you grant near full access to your system to said anti-cheat, which I don't think I need to elaborate on how systematically flawed these anti-cheats are, and they're a dime a dozen, so good luck avoiding them. I don't know why in God's name you cheated Sonic Rumble unless you're a fucking loser, but after the community outrage, the goats of Sonic Rumble stepped in and said, "You gotta be fucking kidding me. They added another kernel-level anti-cheat? Like, how do you not learn?" This game is legitimately fueled by two-faced lies that are coming straight from the mouths of the creators of this title. This does not help build the trust that Sonic Team has been piling up since the release of Frontiers, and if anything, breaks them down a few notches. This does not Mama the Mia, or whatever the Nintendo group chat meme video said. Anyways, this game is in a rough patch upon its quote-unquote global launch, so Rumble's gonna take quite a bit of fixing for it to actually be worth it. But it seems that the Rumble team might be working on that a lot quicker than we expected. So while it seems that I absolutely hate this game, I promise I don't. It's very obvious that the way Rumble tackles its core necessities isn't prioritized anywhere near how they should be, which is where a lot of my distaste for this game comes from. I should also mention that games like this aren't my cup of tea. While I did dabble for a bit because it's a Sonic title, Why wouldn't I? I prefer the faster pace of any other Sonic title or really any other game, but I do have to acknowledge they're at least trying. Sonic Rumble's first major blog post, if you want to call it that, addressing the state of the game came November 14th, where they revealed Rumble had 15 million registered players. That is definitely not something to scoff at, and they handled this milestone quite well, as a limited time set of challenges were released allowing every player to earn up to 300 red star rings. This is pretty much a band-aid on a bullet wound, as this does not fix every issue this game truly has, but at least it's an attempt to build back some trust with your player base. But it doesn't end there. It seems that the Rumble team also has plans to clean up not only the UI, but the in-game heads-up display. This is a huge improvement for me at least, as trying to read the menu would leave me overwhelmed the majority of the time. I do hope the UI gets a massive overhaul, condensing each related menu to a drop-down so everything is accessible in one place, or at least giving us labels on each tab so I'm not going in blind. As far as the actual in-game HUD, every button or element is huge. I understand this game's HUD and every other aspect of this game was designed with mobile in mind. An option to either scale, remove, or move HUD elements would serve this game beautifully. I know these small fixes aren't enough to completely turn around this game's reputation, but taking baby steps like this and listening to community outcry is going to be essential for this game to repair its image. It's going to be a long journey, because what the hell else were they doing from announcement to global launch besides porting this to the Stadia, because yep, we needed that. But remember, Rumble team, baby steps. And honestly, that about sums up how I feel about Rumble. The game is far from perfect, and while not my kind of experience, it definitely serves its purpose of being a free-to-play experience that anyone with either their phone or PC can access. Sure, the gameplay is slow, the microtransactions are to die for, and almost everything about this game is as half-baked as it can be, but as long as it provides a fun experience for someone, I'm sure it'll have no problem staying afloat. With these issues in mind though, it's pretty much up to the Sonic Rumble team if they want to save their reputation or just keep rolling on a generational fumble streak. Either way, I'm hopeful for this title, and I hope and pray that 1, we get to see this game at its full potential, and 2, that I get back in the damn creator program, because I got accepted and kicked in record time. Anyways, I appreciate you if you've made it this far, and shoot, if you agree, disagree, or just want to talk my ear off, drop a comment below. I've got my eye on you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.